What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday. We've got an 8-game NBA DFS slate, and I'm about to break it all down for you, looking at FanDuel, looking at DraftKings, top projected lineups that I have, as well as the top individual plays at each position. So we're going over core guys at each spot to get to. And the only thing that I ask for you to do for me is to like, follow, subscribe. I do appreciate it. It's only going to take you a half second of your time. So if you could click a couple of those buttons, once again, thank you. And I really do appreciate it. And let's get into it here. Using the Stokastic Sims tool, these are my best lineups and the players that I'm building lineups around at each position for today, starting with DraftKings, and then I'll sim lineups out for FanDuel, look at those results as well. Number one projected lineup for me on DK, which does have the highest sim ROI by a pretty good margin right here. It is Cole Anthony, Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, Cat, Rudy Gobert, De'Aaron Fox, Jared Vanderbilt, and JaVale McGee. So we're taking advantage of some injury situations here. The Cleveland Cavaliers, no Darius Garland tonight. That is opening up all kinds of value in the backcourt. Donovan Mitchell projecting better. Karis LeVert projecting better. And then for the Magic, no Markelle Fultz tonight, which means Cole Anthony, who's kind of taking a little bit of a back seat in games that Fultz has been in. He gets more involved in the rotation and then also has the ball in his hands more when he's on the court. So Cole Anthony, somebody who stands out a bunch there. Also from the Timberwolves, we need to just be aware of any potential suspensions that could come down. We saw a little altercation last night between the Golden State Warriors and the Timberwolves that led to McDaniels getting ejected, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. So we'll see if that amounts to any sort of suspensions that could have guys out for today. I don't expect it to be the case because guys will probably appeal any suspensions they have, but something worth noting for the night. Exposures for tonight. So we're going to be going position by position and checking out who it is that I'm getting the most exposure to. And already right at the top, seeing that we're getting to a lot of Cole Anthony. So he's going to show up when we sort by point guards here. Cole Anthony, Donovan Mitchell, Kobe White, Kyrie Irving, De'Aaron Fox. Those are our core plays with players that have point guard eligibility. And of these guys, pretty modest ownership on Irving, Fox, and Cole Anthony. Anthony, who's in 3/4 of my lineups, is projected for 18% ownership. So somebody that I'm coming well overweight to the field to here in Cole Anthony. Players I'm underweight to the field to at point guard: Jrue Holiday, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Suggs. So Suggs, somebody who also benefits in the absence of Markelle Fultz, but we've got him projected for, at least per our Sims, as somebody who's going over-owned on the slate. So not really getting to Jalen Suggs, and also underweight to Dennis Schroeder. Let's go ahead and look at the shooting guards now. Shooting guard that I'm getting the most exposure to. Once again, Cole Anthony, Max Strus, Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, Kyrie Irving. So this is a lot of players that are impacted by that rest situation, or I shouldn't say the rest situation, just players who are out for Cleveland and Orlando. So lots of Strus, Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert. Really like the Cleveland value with Darius Garland injured again. We saw Darius Garland miss games at the start of the year, and these guys from Cleveland went off and had big games. Expecting more of the same tonight. Players that I'm underweight to here: Corey Kispert, Jrue Holiday, Jalen Suggs. And it's funny, technically I'm underweight to the field right here on Karis LeVert, even though he is somebody who's a core play for me. Project for 33% ownership, had him in 27% of lineup. So that is still a little bit less than what the field has. Small forward that I'm getting the most of, it is Karis LeVert and Max Strus. So the relative to ownership, we've got Strus projected for much less ownership than Karis LeVert. He's also cheaper here and somebody who I'm getting to more exposure of. So nearly half my lineups at Karis have Max Strus to 27% with Karis LeVert, and then underweight to Corey Kispert, Kyle Anderson, Denny Avdia, as far as the players at the top there that have the small forward eligibility, in addition to the little bit of underweight that I am to Karis LeVert. Power forward core options: Patrick Williams, Julius Randle, Evan Mobley, Karl-Anthony Towns, and then also Jared Vanderbilt. So when we look at the Bulls for today, we should note that this team has a lot of stuff going on in general. Most notably, DeMar DeRozan is out today. He is not going to be playing. We've got DeMar DeRozan away from the team due to a personal reason. And Alex Caruso is also questionable to play. Then there's also all the trade rumors with Zach LaVine and whatnot. So we'll see what ends up happening with this team. But with DeRozan out, Patrick Williams projecting as a really good value play. And then the other guys here, like we mentioned, Vanderbilt, Cat, Mobley, Julius Randle. Mobley also seeing a little bit of increased usage because of the absence of Darius Garland. And then at power forward, underweight to Kyle Anderson, Denny Avdia, Kyle Kuzma, and Jabari Walker. Now let's go to center. Center core plays for DK. We are getting to Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, Nikola Vucevic, JaVale McGee, Evan Mobley, Karl-Anthony Towns, Jared Vanderbilt. So a lot of center guys here. So it appears that most of my utility spots are going to be taken up by centers and building two center lineups based on the exposures here. Once again, just need to be taking note of any kind of suspensions that might come down from Minnesota. Shouldn't impact Rudy Gobert because he did nothing but get put in a rear naked choke by Draymond Green last night. But he's only projected for 12% ownership, getting overweight to him. And then Vooch also benefiting from the absence of DeMar DeRozan for the Bulls. Underweight to Jabari Walker, Mitchell Robinson, Jared Allen at the center position. Now let's go and build lineups out for FanDuel and see what ends up popping up in Sims. I should make sure I have FanDuel selected. There we go. Now we'll run the sim and see what pops up. While that is running, I'm going to go over the injury reports for tonight for you guys. These are the players that we need to be keeping an eye on that we still need more information on. Trae Young, he's questionable to play. Missed yesterday's game due to the birth of his child. We saw DeJounte Murray go off and have a massive game in the absence of Trae Young. Bogdan Bogdanovic had a big game relative to his price point. And then also there was bigger roles for guys like DeAndre Hunter in the lineup as well. So going to need an update on Trae Young. He's a key player that's listed as questionable on the injury report. Jaylen Brown is also questionable. He's dealing with an illness. Now, individually, I'm not sure that any one player being out from the Celtics is going to have any kind of massive impact because the team is so deep. But not only is Jaylen Brown questionable, Kristaps Porzingis is also questionable. So if both of them are out, that would certainly open up some additional value from the Celtics. RJ Barrett is questionable. Nick Batum is questionable, and talked about Alex Caruso before him being questionable. And Jared Vanderbilt, who is showing up in some of my lineups, he is also questionable. So those are the names to be looking out for on tonight's slate. Favoring the top 150 lineups, my number one projected lineup by simulated ROI on FanDuel: Kyrie Irving, Kobe White, Cole Anthony, Alex Caruso, who is questionable, need that update, Kyle Kuzma, Karis LeVert, LeBron James, Evan Mobley, and Goga Bitadze. Exposures now. Let's go position by position and see what it is that we are getting as core plays at each spot, starting with the point guards. Core point guard options: Cole Anthony, Kyrie Irving, Kobe White, Donovan Mitchell, Drew Holiday, and Ayo Dosunmu. So Drew Holiday, who is somebody I didn't get to a ton of on DK, on FanDuel, he is projecting pretty well. And then also, if we were to see Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis rolled out, that would only make Drew Holiday project even better in that kind of spot. Cleveland guys, same deal. We've got the situation with no Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell popping. And then for Chicago, DeMar DeRozan's out, already getting to a ton of Kobe White. If Alex Caruso is also out in addition to DeRozan, then Kobe White's really going to be somebody that projects well. Underweight to Tyus Jones, Jalen Brunson, Dennis Schroeder, and Derek White right now at the point guard for FanDuel. Shooting guard core options, we are getting to Cole Anthony, Karis LeVert. So Karis LeVert, crazy popular on FanDuel, projected for 56% ownership, getting about even with the field on him. A little bit overweight with 63%, but more or less in line with the field on that ownership. Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, Shaedon Sharpe, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Ayo Dosunmu rounding out the core plays with shooting guard eligibility. And underweight here to Zach LaVine and Derek White at shooting guard. Small forward core options, we are getting to Karis LeVert, Deni Avdija, Kyle Kuzma. So funny, two guys that were underweight to on DraftKings, and Avdija and Kuzma rating out as much better plays over on FanDuel. Shaedon Sharpe, Tim Hardaway Jr., Patrick Williams, LeBron James, Jeremy Grant, the other core options with small forward eligibility. And we are underweight to Tobias Harris, Torrey Craig, Scotty Barnes, and Franz Wagner. Power forward, we are getting to the most of Deni Avdija, Evan Mobley, Kyle Kuzma, Julius Randle, Karl-Anthony Towns, Patrick Williams, LeBron James, Jeremy Grant. So there's your core guys to be building lineups around at power forward. The ones we're really getting to a ton of, though, Avdija, Mobley, and Kuzma, all in 40+% of lineups. And then underweight to Siakam, Tobias Harris, Scotty Barnes, Precious Achiuwa. A lot of Toronto guys not really rating out all that well, even though Anunoby is doubtful to play today. We are seeing a situation here where the Raptors players have gotten to be very expensive, which is one of the reasons projections aren't really liking them quite as much as some other spots on the slate. Center position, we are getting to the most of Goga Bitadze, Evan Mobley, Karl-Anthony Towns. So Goga was a super chalk play for a little while over on FanDuel, and then he got to be priced up. People kind of got off him for that reason, but now his salary's gone back down, and he's become a chalk play again, but appears to be warranted. Project for 25.79 fantasy points, and project for 26.6% ownership. So Bitadze, somebody who's projecting really well at center relative to his price. And then coming in underweight to Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, and Kristaps Porzingis, who is listed as questionable. So that's a rundown of everything for FanDuel and DraftKings, some top lineups, core plays at each position. If you guys found this content helpful, just one more time, do me that favor if you haven't already. like, follow, and subscribe. If you want to sign up for our NBA package at Stokastic.com, sign up using the link that we have below. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and good luck tonight.